Hello, my name is Tyler Elkins, and today I'll be doing a quick walkthrough of the mechanics that I made for my current assignment at Full Sail University. To start, we have our interaction and telekinesis showcase. So, as you can see, as the player walks up, they press E to interact with stuff, and a quick little widget pops up, and they're able to move stuff around and place stuff down. Yeah, and then we get into our interaction blueprint. So it shoots a line trace from the first person camera every tick, and if it hits something, then it calls to a widget that is up above. That basically just allows the text to show whenever it's hitting or being blocked by something. And then it out hits our component, and then it gets the owner of that component and activates it when they press E while looking at that component. And then we get into our telekinesis code, and the telekinesis is basically a switch. We're actually going to start down here. So we first create our widget for our telekinesis tutorial. So that's that little screen that pops up whenever you activate um, the book. Whenever you activate it, it sets your movement input and adds it to the viewport, the telekinesis widget, which is a variable up here, and then it shows our mouse cursor, and then it sets your input mode to UI only. At which point, after the activation, it casts to see first person, and it activates our telekinesis. It calls our telekinesis script to run, and then toggles the visibility on the book itself. Let's see. Then we get, oh yeah, sorry. Then we have a simple branch here that is set to when telekinesis is active, it will set or a boolean within this code to true. When that code is true, then when you press left click, it will fire this and shoot a line trace from the player, which will then grab the whatever it is hitting at its location and then pick it up. So you can move it around and everything, and then it plays a sound whenever you pick stuff up. And then whenever you release the component, so when you let go of left mouse button, it will release the component, so it will let go of it at that location. And then right here, this actually goes through our event tick node as well, and it's basically a branch that's set to our physics handle condition, which is set to true right here. Um, and when it is set to true, it will allow you to set the target location of whatever object you are grabbing. That's basically how it works. Then our double jump showcase. As you can see, you just jump twice. And then on interact, so this is our double jump bottle. So that bottle that you see them interact with, and from event activate, it goes, and when it's true, it will call the double jump to activate, and then it sets the material of that bottle. And when event double jump is active, this is within our double jump code. So yeah, whenever it's either active or false. Um, this is the base code, so this is the jump code that's already existing, except I added a cast to character in order to get the character movement node you see right here. So it basically goes through this branch, and when both of these are true, is falling, and double jump is active, it will allow you to jump again. When you press spacebar, it'll launch the character up and get their jump z velocity. So that is how high they normally jump. It'll push them up that same amount. It gets the actor location, plays a sound, and then after a delay, it will allow you to double jump again. Then we get to our directional puzzle solution showcase, which I'm going to skip a little ways through. Yeah, so you walk up and then you can interact with these. And then when all of them have been interacted with, that shuts down. So from event activate, it goes through a quick little branch and it sets the visibility to true. When the visibility is true, it'll get their current angle and either increase it by 1 or set it back to 0 depending on if they are equal to or greater than 3. Sorry, that should be 0. I think this was when I was editing it. Then it plays the sound at the location and rotates the statue play from start. So this is our rotation, which works off of our current angles. So it multiplies them by 90 and then changes their rotation accordingly. Let's see. For this one, this is our event actor begin overlap. So whenever you place the statues on the statue heads, which isn't in the showcase, but sometimes these statues will not have their heads, and you have to place them on using the telekinesis, and this is the code for that. So destroy the actor, set the visibility to true, and then toggle the visibility once again, making it to where they're visible. And then it updates our puzzle solution here, which triggers this to run, and it will basically go through our solutions array and then cast to our directional statues, get their current angle, and then set their array elements within our current angles array. At which point it will check our solutions array and check our current angles array and see if they're equal, and then it will fire this branch, and that sets the visibility and sets the relative location of these objects. So basically it just checks to see if they're true and makes the doors disappear if they're not true, or if they are true. Okay, then we've got our massive locked door. As you can see, you walk up, you put the keys in their spots, it rotates, and then it opens. I don't know why I didn't show it opening, but it opens. Then you interact with these, and they all open. And then you've got our final book, which we can skip to right here. That spawns on the player after you interact with that after a certain amount of time. Then we set material. Okay, sorry. Then for our final objective code, so this is that final objective you see me work with. On event begin play, it creates a dynamic material instance for the sphere that is present. It is in the other video presentation I did. And it basically makes it to where you can edit the material within the blueprint. And then event activate. So whenever you activate it, this timeline sets the opacity of that sphere I previously mentioned to 1 in order to make it invisible. And then after a delay, it gets their actor of class, and then gets the actor transforms and spawns the BP in game onto the player, and then calls this pickup custom event. And the pickup custom event fires and gets the actor of class C first person and sets final objective done to true. At which point we go over here and create the node widget, and this basically works the same as the spellbook. So I'm not going to go through all of this because it's basically just making the widget appear. So the widget is created here, and then it's added to the viewport when you activate it. At which point it then sets itself to where note pickup is true. Then this allows you to click a button that pops up in the widget in order to exit it, that little X button that you see right here. Then we get to our massive door code. So it toggles the visibility of the keys. So golden key 1, golden key 2, they're all invisible at the event begin play. And then it goes, and whenever you put a key up to the collision box, it will destroy that key and then set it to where it is now visible. And then it will go through the line and do that for each one of the keys. At which point it will then, once all the keys are visible, it will then play this and make a cool key rotation, play a cool sound, and then after a delay it'll toggle the visibility on all the keys and locks in order to make them invisible, and then it will finally play a timeline after a delay and set the location of the door higher up above so the player can no longer run into it. Then we get into our pressure pads, which use your telekinesis to pick up these objects and place them down, and you'll do that however many times it takes for it to function, at which point the stairs will start to lower down and come all the way down to the floor. So the way this works is you makes cubes on top of the pressure plates invisible. So you get the event begin play and you toggle the visibility on the cubes that are already existing above the pressure plate. and then it checks to see if the cube has collided. So basically, it sees if the cube has ran into the collision box. If it has, it destroys it, and then toggles the visibility on that cube to where it's now visible. And then it plays a cool little timeline. From which point it will then get the actor of class, the lowering stairs, which is what I've called the stairs, and then it does a cool little message to the puzzle solution, and then after delay, it'll set that material of the pressure plates to where they're now glowing. And then let's see. So it checks the puzzle solution. So it sees if the puzzle solution, which is increased every single time this fires, because it will only fire every time one of those cubes is placed on the pressure plate. It sees if the pressure is equal to the pressure solution. If they are, then it will allow the stairs to lower completely. Then we get to our teleporter. So from the teleporter, as you can see, you walk into it and you are teleported. So the way this works is basically just event actor begin overlap. Whenever you overlap with the collision box that is within the teleporter, it sees if it's the player. If it is, then it will only do this once. It will, if it is the player, then it will get that actor of class and get the player, and it will set their location, the player's location, more so the capsule component of the player, over to the new location, which is the location of the new teleporter, which is an instance editable variable. And then we've got traps. So the way the traps work is they fire when you're within their collision sphere or box. There we go. As you can see, he's within it. He's not within it. So it's not firing anymore. So from event actor end overlap, so whenever the player leaves the collision box, it will no longer allow this to fire. So this condition right here is set to false. It's set to true when they're within the collision box, and then on event begin tick, from true it'll take our duration, which is instance editable, so you can change how quickly they fire. It will do a quick delay and then spawn our arrow, which will then fire at the player. And then we get to our projectile code. The projectile code is basically the same as the teleporter code, only it doesn't need the delays and the do once. So from event actor begin overlap, it will do a quick little branch to make sure that it is not overlapping with the dart trap's collision. If it is, then just ignore it and can continue. Don't destroy yourself. If it is, then it will also do a check on to see if it's the person. If it is the person, or if it isn't the person, it will just destroy itself. If it is the person, then it will get actor of class first person, and it will set their location back to the player's start. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for your time, and hope you have a great day.